Welcome back to another day with the Peugaru. In the last episode I installed some new headlights and took it out for a drive at night. I was much happier with the visibility and the overall alignment. Now we can move on. One thing I did notice after taking the car out for a drive that evening, there was some smoke coming from the exhaust even when I brought the car back after a long drive. So there could be a new issue there. Before I take the car back out, as it's such a nice day, I will get the code reader plugged in just to check there are no new codes. If you've watched previous episodes, you may have remembered I deleted all of the codes. So anything bar one of the sensors on the exhaust should be a new code. And there's only one code found, which is that exhaust sensor, which is now down there somewhere. Next thing to do is to check the engine oil level and the coolant level. The water level has dropped a bit. The oil level looks full. It's exactly on the full mark. The fact the water was a little low, and I have topped it up a few times since finally filling the system with coolant. It could mean a couple of things. One, there is a leak. Two, we are losing water through the engine, either going into the oil or out the exhaust. Or three, the system is still bleeding, i.e. there is still water in the coolant system. I'd like to think it's the latter. As you know, the radiator is now at the back of the car, so the total liquid capacity of the system is now much larger, and it's more likely to take longer to bleed. When I was driving the car, the engine seemed to have its normal amount of power, so I very much doubt it's the head gasket. When I brought the car back into the tent, it did smell quite rich and fuely, so it may not be to do with the water at all. This is also a microphone experiment that went wrong. I need to work on that. I will take the car back out this afternoon and monitor the exhaust. We'll see how we go from there. I've just got to Malvern. I've probably been driving for about 45 minutes. I've just started the car back up, and there's not really much smoke to talk about. I think the other night when it was pitch black, it was easier to see in like torchlight. I'll carry on. I think ultimately I just need to monitor the levels of the oil and the water. We're just coming into Ledbury now. Should be fully dark soon. And I'll have another look and see what's coming out the exhaust. Right, let's have a look at the exhaust again. You can see in the light. See that? It smells quite rich. Everything looks alright under the engine bay. So let me know in the comments what you think that might be. One thing I will say now, it's winter. I'm very glad I installed a heater in the car. It's nice and toasty. Or do you think I'm possibly overreacting? And we could have this just coming out the exhaust. Because it's very cold, it's about 6 degrees. It might purely be down to temperature. It does smell quite rich. I better shut it off.